Okay, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, looks like it's working. All right, thank you one and all for being patient with me on that. I am doing a live broadcast and first time out, so just kind of getting used to all of this in terms of the workings of a live broadcast here on YouTube. So hope all is going well out there in the world. I am doing a segment called Wonderful Wondering. It's kind of like office hours. If I'm just here on my own, then I'm just going to talk and let that stream of consciousness open up. When people wander onto these wonderings, then we'll actually have a conversation. However, for today, I just want to welcome one and all, whoever you are, from wherever you're tuning in from, and welcome you here to this station where we look at things around how we can enrich and enhance everyday life by living in an extraordinary way. So a lot of what I do is I consider investigating the great mysteries of the world and providing supernatural solutions, if you will, to everyday life. Those solutions, if you will, are largely in terms of spiritual things that we can do that, while often spirituality can seem really way far out there, this is something that allows us to really connect with the day-to-day. How is it that we can take everyday actions in our lives to create extraordinary results? And for myself, it's something that I've really brought in near and dear to my heart, something that I have not just studied, which I definitely have, going on 20 years now. I've really lived, and I've been able to create those experiences, those results in my life. Everything from having a 20-year vision and accomplishing it in 6, to being able to co-create 2 beautiful boys, to overcoming different challenges I've experienced in terms of my own health and well-being. So there's a lot of things that can happen when we allow ourselves to happen. And these happenings, if you will, can be incredibly powerful. And once we get a feel of it, it's truly a tremendous thing. So this whole concept of bending reality, if you will, to our will, is effectively what the whole concept of quantum wizardry is all about. I mean, I was told years ago, 2014, that I wasn't able to have children naturally. Your average man has something like, whatever it is, 4 billion sperm per milliliter per unit, and I had something like 10,000, which already, I mean, even with those numbers, every child that's born is like 1 in 4.3 trillion. So it's truly a miracle. And the fact that, you know, that I have 2 healthy boys. Obviously, I didn't do that on my own. However, I was able to play my part. And a big part of that was being able to skew probability by focusing on a very specific potentiality. Because as we look at this whole concept of materialization, how do we bring into physical reality that which we can envision in our wildest imaginations? Well, it's something that really allows us, when we are able to connect with it, to dream wildly. And that's something that nowadays there's so much reality TV, news, so on and so forth, that when we talk about dreaming wildly, it's something that doesn't come naturally for a lot of people. And so this concept then of quantum wizardry, effectively the art and science of bending reality, is a tremendous asset in not just our own personal well-being, in terms of the connections and the relationships that we have in our lives, to how we can really leverage things from a professional perspective, and then ultimately how we can uplift our children, our community, and the environment, the places we dwell as well. And so I want to talk a little bit about that today because it's something that, again, it's personal for me. It's something that when I felt overwhelmed and when I still feel overwhelmed, these are the tools, the technologies, the techniques that continue to support me. Everything from what it is that I may be intending to how it is that I am being to the way that I am actually seeing. And from all of these different perspectives, it's something that allows each and every one of us, when we really are connected with that deepest aspect of ourself, aligned with that aspect of higher self, balancing these energies in terms of our everyday life, we can effectively evolve how we are living. And that's what really matters, because what got us here will not get us there, meaning that the strategies of survival that the ego applies to the world, the way that we have been able to really allow ourselves to live in this world has had a certain cost to it. And what we're looking at now is how is it that we can move from that aspect of survival? How can we go from a place where we're just able to survive into a place where we're able to thrive? And once we slide down that scale, once we move and shift from one pole to the opposite on a spectrum of you, as it is a spectrum for me, well, then things really do change because we are seeing through different lenses. I wear my glasses and I think about my grandmother when she was alive, my father's mom. I would go over and I would help her, do stretches, walking on the treadmill, all these different types of things. And then afterwards, we just sit down at grandma's table as one does, and we talk and we connect. And grandma would do what she would do, and I would be feeding me food. And on my side, I would take her glasses, right? And I would look at them because they were just so dirty, right? I mean, grandma didn't take that time to really wipe her glasses, wipe her lenses, and so it obstructed her view. She couldn't really see clearly. And so what I would end up doing is I would clean her glasses at the dinner table. And in cleaning her glasses, it would take all of that gunk, all of the junk that was on her lenses that she would look through, that she would peer through, that she would attempt to peek through, and would have difficulty being able to see. Now, when I would clean it, one, I could see her eyes clearly, right? And then on the other side, she could see the world in a dramatically and drastically different perspective. She could see things. And she would always make a kind of a funny, oh, thank you, thank you. It was very humble. Grandma was very humble. She was a truly magical being, and she was just so incredibly humble. And so she would, kind of laugh about it because she realized how dirty her lenses were. And I say that because our lenses can get dirty AF. We can get so caught up in the day to day through the lens of our ego, which by no means is negative. However, it does come from a very specific perspective. And that perspective is one of just the strategies to survive. It's what we applied in our childhood. It was what worked way back when. It's what we applied through often adulthood until we realized it doesn't really work all that well, because we are coming from a place of often fear or anger or sadness or something, because it's not a matter of how we can really uplift, renew, and enliven ourselves as much as it is a matter of just being able to survive the day to day. And that's a very different perspective. And so as we clean these lenses and we allow ourselves to see more openly, honestly, and very vulnerably, then it can be a little scary. It can trigger the ego. And so if we're talking about this whole process, let's say the awakening process is moving from our ego and slowly and steadily into our essence, then what we're effectively doing is we are bit by bit, as we choose to do something differently, we are moving along this spectrum, and we're sliding closer as we get ourselves closer and closer to home, and home just being ourselves, not a place, not even a concept. It is a sense and state of being. And so what we're really going to be looking at in terms of all of this with quantum wizardry in this first stage is really looking at the biases that we have. What's the gunk and the junk that creates a funk in how we see the world. And then being able to move from there, that first step of observation is key, because unless we know what we don't know, then how the heck are we going to figure out what we don't know? We don't know. And that will come. However, I'm just test running everything out right now. So hopefully this all worked out well on broadcasting from Zoom straight to YouTube. I'm going to have a look-see. This is just a general introduction, though, in terms of what we're going to be doing in Quantum Wizardry, the art and science of bending reality. That's it for now, though. Love and aloha. Take care. And hui hou.